Hello everyone, myself Via Atif Basha, Assistant Professor of Physics, Islamia College, Autonomous Wanimwadi. Today I am going to discuss about the electromagnetic theory, in which one of the important application you know very well about the Gauss law. So this is a main role in the electromagnetic theory. Now we shall move to the topic that is called as a Gauss law and its application. So flux of the electric field. What is meant by electric field? So what is meant by electric flux? Flux is a property of any vector field and it is usually denoted by the symbol phi. It refers to various surface in the field which can be closed or open. For an electric field, the flux is a phi of E is measured by the number of lines of force that cut through a surface. For a closed surface, the flux phi of E is considered positive, sometimes it will be a negative. Because the concept of electric flux, which is useful in the association with the Gauss law. The electric flux through a planar area, it is defined as the electric field times that the component of the area perpendicular to the field as shown in figure. If the area is not planar as shown in figure 2. Now this is a planar distance. You know that this is a planar distance. The flux phi equal to EA cos theta. This is the electric flux formula. So this is in the form of integral. This is a planar. This is a non-planar. So the area should be a perpendicular. The same vector, the angle theta should be a perpendicular. This is a hypotenuse by adjacent. This is theta electric field theta equal to EA, that is perpendicular to area. So similar to non-planar electric field, the flux should be a pi equal to integral E cos theta dA. This is similar to perpendicular to the area, but it should be a non-planar. This is the flux. So similar to Gauss, the first Gauss was donated suggests that with 1770 and 855, who was a German scientist mathematician. Gauss is basically the relation between the charge of distribution producing the electric field, electrostatic field, to the behavior of the electrostatic in the presence of electrostatic in space. The Gauss law is based on the fact that the flux through any closed surface is measured of the total amount of charge inside the surface, and any charge outside that surface would not be contribute anything to the total surface. So the total electric flux out of the closed surface is equal to the charge enclosed divided by the permittivity. Now, the electric flux through an area is defined as the electric field multiplied by the area of the surface project in the plane perpendicular to the field. Gauss law is general law applying to any closed surface. It is an important tool since it permits the assessment of the amount of enclosed charge by the enclosed charge by the mapping the field of the surface outside the charges distribution. For geometry of the sufficient symmetry, it simply the calculation of the electric field. So this is a general form of Gauss law. So general form of integral form of Gauss law. The area of the integral. What is meant by this Gauss law in the form of integral? You know very well about the previous slide. We have to see that q Gauss law pi equal to epsilon by q by epsilon naught. So similarly, the integral form, the area integral of the electric field over any closed surface is equal to the net charges enclosed in the surface divided by the permittivity of the free space. This is the net charge that is called as a q. That is the permittivity of free space that is called as a epsilon naught. Gauss form in the form of one of the Maxwell equation, the four fundamental equations for electricity and magnetism The Gauss law permits the evaluation of the electric field in many practical situations by forming a symmetric Gaussian surface surrounding a charge distribution and evaluating the electric flux through the surface. This is a arbitrary constant. This is an arbitrary closed surface in the form of Gauss law. So this is the alignment should be a same direction. So that is the integral E dot dA, which is equal to Q by epsilon naught. Q is called as a net charges and epsilon naught is a permittivity of space. This is similar to the planar constant. So we have to see in the electric flux, this is a similar to arbitrary charge distribution at the net closed surface. So this is the application of Gauss law. How application should be in the form of different laws. So first one is deduction of Coulomb's law, electric field due to the charge solid sphere, field due to the spherical symmetric charge distribution. That is symmetric charge distribution. You know very well about the previous slide. You have the arbitrary constant in the volume distribution. That is non-planar distance. So number 4, field due to a line of charges, field due to a uniformly charged plane. Number 6, field due to the infinite charge conducting plate, field due to two parallel charge plate. So similar to Gauss law, it have similarity application, well-known example, well-known application we have to see in the daily routine in the electrostatic potential. So it, after from that we have to see in the similar examples and similar application in the various topics. Now, number this is the first application. So we have to see deduction of Coulomb's law. You know very well about the deduction. This is a electric field which is an isolated positive charge of magnitude. This is a similar to Maxwell displacement current. The figure shows that Maxwell displacement current. Coulomb's law can be derived from Gauss law. We consider electric field of a single isolated positive charge of the magnitude Q is Q plus Q. This is a charge as shown in figure. Field of a positive charge charge is in radially outward direction everywhere. Outward direction. This shows the outward direction everywhere, and magnitude of electric field intensity is same for all points at a distance r. This area is shown as a distance r from the charge. This is the electric field intensity is same for all points at a distance r from the charge. We can assume this is a Gaussian surface to be a sphere. This is a sphere. We have to assume the Gaussian surface to be a sphere of radius r enclosed the charge q. From the Gauss law, integral E dot A, which is equal to integral E integral dA. That is dA is known as a q. That is enclosed. You have to see that. You have to see that it is enclosed. Q enclosed surface by epsilon, since E is a constant at all the point of the surface. We can discuss about the arbitrary constant in which the E becomes the same. So this is the magnetic electric field intensity is same all the points from the distance r. So we have to same taken as a E of Pi equal to Q by epsilon naught, or E equal to Q by epsilon naught A. So since the surface area of the sphere, surface area of the A equal to 4 pi r square. Thus E equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught Q by r square. This is a electric field at a single point due to Gaussian surface. This is the first example. Now force acting on the point charge q at a distance r from the point q. So after we can evaluate the surface area of the sphere. Now electric field E equal to 1 by 4 epsilon naught Q by r square. This is a similar equation which is Newton's third law. So F is equal to Q dash by A. F is force equal to M by 4 epsilon naught q dash by r square. There is nothing but the mathematical statement of Coulomb's law. Now, number second. So now the next one is second example. Is the electric field due to line charge. We consider a long line uniformly charged wire, and we have to find the electric field intensity due to the wire at any point at perpendicular distance from the wire. If the wire is very long, look at that. If the wire is very long and we are at a point far away from the both its end, then the field line outside the wire are radial and would lie on the plane perpendicular to the wire. This is the main point, main in the electric field due to line charges. If the wire is very long and we are at a point far away from the both, its end field line outside the wire are radial and would lie on the plane perpendicular to the wire. So electric field intensity have same magnitude at all points which are at the same distance from the line charge. So we can assume that the Gaussian surface to be a right circular cylinder of radius r and length L with its end perpendicular to the wire as shown in the figure. So let lambda is the charge per unit length of the wire. The direction of E is perpendicular to the wire, and the component of E normal to end faces of cylinder makes no contribution to electric flux, thus from Gauss law. So this is a Gauss law. Integral E dot A equal to Q enclosed by epsilon r. This is a cylindrical Gaussian surface which is passes through the electric field, line charges. There is a parallel at E Gaussian surface. This is a similar. This is a figure which can be in the form of cylindrical Gaussian surface. So next, now inside left hand side of the Gauss law, integral E dot dA which is equal to E integral dA. Since at the point on the curved surface E is a constant, surface area of cylinder of radius r and length L, which is A equal to 2 pi RL, that is the length of the cylinder. That is similar. So we can calculate integral E dot dA, which is equal to E into dA become small element. So you have to take as a 2 pi RL. Charge enclosed in the cylinder is E. Charge enclosed in cylinder is Q, which is equal to linear charge density into length of the cylinder. There are Q equal to lambda into L. You have to see in the linear charge density lambda. So from the Gauss law, integral E dot dA equal to Q by epsilon naught R E into 2 pi RL, which is equal to lambda L by epsilon naught R. E equal to lambda by 2 epsilon naught R. E inversely proportional to lambda by R are directly proportional to 1 by R. Thus, the electric field intensity of the long positive charge wire does not depend on length of the wire, but on the radial distance r from points of the wire. So this is the equation of electric field due to a single line charge. So similar to another application, electric field due to the charge solid sphere. So this is a solid sphere. You have to bound it in the one in the inside of the sphere, another one outside of the sphere. So in which we can apply the Gauss law. We will now apply Gauss law to find the field outside uniformly charged solid sphere of radius r and total charge small q. In this case, Gaussian surface would be a sphere of radius r less than capital R, concentric with the charge solid sphere shown below in the figure. So similar figure 6 shows the R less than capital R. That is the radius. This is the total charge of the total radius, total charge in the solid sphere of the radius R. This is similar to distance, that is 1 by R. So equation becomes, from Gauss law, you know very well, integral E dot dA, which is equal to Q enclosed by epsilon naught, where Q is the charge enclosed. So charge is distributed uniformly over the surface of the sphere. Symmetry allows us to extract E out of the integral spin. Integral sin is magnitude of electric field intensity is same for all points at distance r less than capital R. Since electric field point radially outward, so equation become balanced. That is, we have to see in the previous two application, integral E dot dA, which is equal to E integral d of A. So after that we have to continue. After that we have to discuss the magnitude of E is a constant over Gaussian surface. E integral dA, which is equal to E into 4 pi r square, where 4 pi r square is the surface area of the sphere. Again from the Gauss law we have E 4 pi r square equal to Q by epsilon naught. So therefore we get E equal to Q by 4 epsilon naught r square. Thus we see that the magnitude of the field outside the sphere is exactly the same as it would have been as if all the charges were concentrated at its center. So E equal to Q by 4 epsilon naught r square. So another application of Gauss law, that is called as the electric field due to an infinite plane sheet of charges. This is the infinite plane. This is the infinite plane sheet of charges in which the electric field passes through the Gaussian surface in the form of a rectangular Gaussian pillbox. This is called as a rectangular Gaussian pillbox. We consider a thin plane sheet of charge having the surface charge density sigma, that is called as a charge per unit area, that is called as a charge density. We have to find the electric field intensity due to this sheet at a point which is distance r away from the sheet, distance r away from the sheet, this sheet. The distance r away from the sheet, we can draw a rectangular Gaussian pillbox extending equal distance above and below the plane, equal distance above and below the plane, that is as shown in figure. So similarly, by the symmetry we find that E on either side of the sheet must be perpendicular. Either side of this is the sheet, this is perpendicular, either side on the sheet perpendicular to the plane of the sheet, having same magnitude at all the points equidistant from the sheet. Now field line crosses the side wall of the Gaussian pillbox, that is component of the E normal to the wall of the pillbox, that is 0. The component of E, you have to see that the component of E of the pillbox is similar to pillbox become extending equal distance above and below, so the value becomes 0. So we now apply Gauss law to the surface. Gauss law to the surface, integral E dot dA, which is equal to Q enclosed by Q divided by epsilon naught. In this case, the charge enclosed Q equal to sigma A, where A is the area end one of Gaussian surface, E is the point away from the plane, so that is E points upward for the point above the plane and downward for the point below the plane, below the plane. Thus, for the top and bottom surfaces, for this, the note this point. E point is direction away from the Gaussian surface, that is E point upwards for the point above the plane and downward for the point below the plane. This is a why I have to mention the red mark at the slide at the providing the notes, because this is a point which can be important. I have to underline, I have to mention. So thus for the top and bottom surfaces, integral E dot dA, which is equal to 2a mode of E. Thus 2a mode of E equal to Q by A, sigma by A by epsilon naught, or AA become AA become cancels, or E equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. Here one important thing to be a note, that magnitude of the electric field at any point independent of the sheet and does not decrease inversely, does not increase inversely with the square of the distance, is the square of the distance. Thus electric field due to an infinite plane sheet of charge does not fall at all, at all. So mode of E equal to sigma by 2 epsilon naught. This is a, so we have to see in the four previous example in which four previous application. So now we can move to the similar four application in which we can see the different example of the by solving problem. This is we have to take in the first example, the magnitude of the average electric field normally present in the electric field atmosphere just above the surface of the earth, it is 150 Newton per Coulomb directed downwards. Look at the reason that surface of the earth is 150 Newton per Coulomb directed downward. What is the total net surface charge carried by the earth? Assume the earth to be a conductor. So now we can prove that. So we can solve now. We know that the lines of force terminate on the negative charge, so that the electric field point downwards. We know that already. We have to see in a different application. We know that the lines of the force terminate on negative charges, so that the electric field point downward. Hence, the average surface charge density sigma must be negative. Thus, from the relation E equal to sigma by epsilon naught, or sigma equal to epsilon naught into E. That is epsilon naught. That is the permittivity of free space. Permittivity of free space. That is the value of 8.85 into 10 power minus 12, and surface of the earth at above, that is minus 150. So total value sigma equal to minus 1.33 into 10 power minus 9 coulomb per meter square. Now the what we have to ask, total what is the total net surface charge carried by the earth. So we have to calculate now. Now the earth total charges is given by Q equal to sigma into 4 pi r square. That is sigma we know, the pi r square. So r is the radius. So r is the radius of the total field, total electric field, 6.37 into 10 power 6 whole square. So value become minus 6.8 into 10 power 5 coulomb. This is the total charge is given by. So this is another example. A plastic rod whose length is 220 centimeter. The plastic rod whose length is 220 centimeter and the radius is 3.6 millimeter carries a negative charge of magnitude 3.8 into 10 power minus 7 coulomb spread uniformly over a surface. Spread uniformly over its surface. So what is the electric field near the midpoint of the rod at a distance on its surface? So listen that, what is the electric field near the midpoint of the rod at a point on its surface. Length is 220 centimeter. Length is given, then radius is given, the negatively charged. So now we can see the solution. Although the rod is not infinitely long, as mentioned in the plastic rod, so although the rod is not infinitely long for a point on its surface and near its midpoint, it is maybe considered to the effectively infinitely long. So the linear charge density for the rod lambda equal to Q by L, that is charge Q by charge by length, that is Q by L, which is equal to Q becomes minus 3.8 into 10 power minus 7 coulomb divided by length 2.2, that is equal to lambda minus 1.73 into 10 power minus 7 coulomb per meter. Now we have E equal to lambda by 2 epsilon naught R. So equation lambda we have to calculate in the above equation. Lambda equal to 1.73 into 10 power minus 7 divided by 2 pi into epsilon naught value 8.85 into 10 power minus 12 into radius 0.3.6 mm. So we have to convert in the centimeter. We have to 0.000036. So we have, after calculate the total equation, we get the what is the electric field near midpoint on the rod at the point, which is equal to minus 8.6 into 10 power 5 Newton per coulomb. This is the second example of another application we have to see. Now another application in which the example we have to discuss. This is the third example. So question is, two parallel plate capacitor of area 20 centimeter square each are separated by a distance of 10 millimeter. If one plate carries of a charge of plus 2 into 10 power minus 9 coulomb and other carries a charge of minus 2 into 10 power minus 9 coulomb. So we can calculate the electric field in the space between them. We know that E equal to sigma by epsilon naught. We know that sigma equal to E equal to sigma by epsilon naught. So sigma equal to Q by A. We have seen already in the previous section. Q by A, that is Q is known as a 2 into minus 2 into 10 power minus 9. One plate carries. It should be a positively charged or negatively charged. So we have to mention the charge plus Q and minus Q. So we have to take an as a plus 2 into 10 power minus 9 divided by area. Area is 20 centimeter. 20 into 10 power minus 4 divided by into epsilon. There is a permittivity of free space. So after calculating the equation, total equation, we can found the electric field in the space between them 1.13 into 10 power 5 Newton per coulomb. So this is the Gauss law and application. Now we shall move to the another interesting topic, that is called as a Maxwell equation, the law of electromagnetism, Maxwell equation, current, displacement current, and electromagnetic radiation. उसमें चल जाता है कहाँ हुआ रंगा नहीं है So another last we have seen that Gauss law and application. The similar topic is in the form of electromagnetism, the law of electromagnetism, Maxwell equation, displacement current, and electromagnetic radiation. So this is the electromagnetic spectrum. Normally we have to see in the different topic, that is called as the electromagnetic spectrum. So this is the wavelength. This is a different scale at the microwave region and X-ray and visible light. So this is the frequency in terms of hertz. This is a wavelength at different spectrum. So we can see that at the different point the radio waves and microwave, infrared and ultraviolet rays from 10 power 12 to 10 power 1, that is called as a radio wave. 10 power minus 3 to 10 power minus 6, that is called as a infrared ray, and 10 power minus 9 to 10 power minus 7 to 10 power minus 10, that is called as a ultraviolet, and 10 power above the 10 power minus 9, that is called as a X-ray, and from above, that is as a gamma ray. This is a different wavelength at different spectrum. So in which the visible light can fall under 10 power minus 15, that is at 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer at the different wavelength. So this is the equations of electromagnetism at this point. Gauss law of electrostatics, integral E dot dA, which is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So we have to see in the application of Gauss law. So Gauss law for magnetism, integral B dot dA, which is equal to 0. That is, B is known as a magnetic field intensity, E is known as electric field intensity. So this is a two similar equation in the form of electric field and magnetic field. So similar third equation, that is called as the Faraday law of induction. Integral E dot dA, which is equal to minus pi of B divided by dt. So Ampere's law, integral B dot dl, which is equal to mu naught by I. So equation of electromagnetism, we have to, I am going to discuss about the outline of the electromagnetism, Maxwell displacement current, like that the similar topic we have to discuss in this slide. So Gauss law, here, integral E dot dA, which is equal to sigma by epsilon. This is the monopole having the different pole, but the Gauss law should be in the form of one direction, that is called as a monopole. Number two, that is integral B dot dA, which is equal to, this is the first one we have to see in the electromagnetism. In magnetism, you see that in magnetism, in the Gauss law of magnetism, seen that there is a no magnetic field at monopole because the value becomes 0. So the magnetic field intensity at monopole, it should be a 0. So similar to equation of electromagnetism in the form of Faraday's law, integral E dot dA, which is equal to minus d pi by dt. If you change the magnetic field, you induce an electric field. Absolutely conformly, if you change a magnetic field, you induce an electric field. So similarly, the Ampere's law also, it is a reverse true. It is integral B dot dl, which is equal to mu naught by I. So let us take a let's took a let's take a look at charge flowing into a capacitor. Now we can derive the Ampere's circuital law at constant. So this is a similar magnetic field and electric field which can be formed at the Ampere's circuital law, integral B dot dl equal to mu naught by I. This is a similar equation. At the alignment should be a one form. The alignment can't change at the different direction at the Ampere's circuital law. So this is the equation. This figure shows the charge flowing through a conductor, capacitor. So if the loop enclosed, see that if the loop is enclosed on the second winding of the capacitor, if the loop enclosed one plate of the capacitor, there is a problem in I, that is I equal to 0. So this is a slide. This is a similar slide. I have to separate it here. So the alignment should be different. The alignment should be a different slide view. Surface is now like your back. This is a This is alignment should be a different. So the I equal to 0. So Maxwell solved this problem by realizing that inside the capacitor there must be an induced magnetic field. So this is the first stage. It should tell the Ampere's law. Now it will changes. Maxwell solved this equation by realizing that the magnetic field V and the second parallel plate capacitor at the in between the E. How means the inside the capacitor there is changing in E. Look at that. There is a changing in E. But here there is no changing because the direction of the capacitor should be a direct. Here we can see that the capacitor is changing because the alignment at single position should be a induced wave. See that this is the area we have to taken separately. The capacitor of the charge of the capacitor is here winding to a clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation. The changing electric field induced in a magnetic field. So the induce of the electric field which is similar to the magnetic field. So this is the integral B dot dl which is equal to mu naught by epsilon naught d of del pi by dt equal to mu naught I into d, where id is the displacement current. So this is the equation of Maxwell saw by realizing the Ampere circuital law. So another equation which is similar to integral b dot dl equal to mu naught I plus mu naught by epsilon naught d pi of I into a2. This is the modification. So derivation of displacement current. Last we have to see in the Maxwell Ampere circuital law. Now we have to see in the derivation of displacement current for a capacitor Q equal to epsilon naught E into A and I equal to Q dq by dt. So Q value, we know what is the value of Q. So we have to substitute epsilon naught Q epsilon naught d EA by dt. Now the electric flux is given by the EA. So I equal to epsilon naught d pi E by dt, where this current not being associated with the charges, that is called as a displacement current ID. So ID equal to mu naught by epsilon naught d pi of E by dt. This is the displacement current in the form of Maxwell. So this equation can be written as integral b dot dl equal to mu naught I plus id. So therefore we can write integral b dot di by mu naught I by id. The id value becomes, this is mu naught by epsilon naught d pi I by dt. So we have to put it there. Now Maxwell equation of electromagnetism. So in the form of Maxwell equation, we have to see in the electromagnetism. So already we have to see in the previous slide. So we shall move to the Maxwell equation of electromagnetism in vacuum. You know very well about the electromagnetism. We have to take as a vacuum, no charges and no masses. Consider this equation in a vacuum. We have to consider this equation in a vacuum, no mass and no charges and no current. So this is the four equation we have to take. Integral E dot dA which is equal to Q by epsilon naught. So if this equation is vacuum, no mass, no charges and no current, so we have to see that the equation should be a integral E dot dA equal to 0. So this area becomes 0 because there is no vacuum, no charge, no mass. So similarly, the second one equation, that is Gauss law of electromagnetism, Maxwell's second equation, integral B dot dA equal to 0. So this equation should be a, nothing should be changed because there is no mass and current and the charges. And similar this equation this equation also is same. But in this equation, from equation Ampere's fourth law, Ampere's law, integral B dot dl equal to mu naught I plus mu naught epsilon naught d pi of E by dt. So after this equation in the vacuum, so integral B dot dl equal to mu epsilon naught d pi by dt. This equation become 0. So the equation becomes this kind of. So we have to see in this equation integral E dot dA equal to 0, integral B dot dA equal to 0, integral E dot dl equal to minus d pi by v dt. So integral B dot dl equal to mu epsilon naught d pi by dt. So this is an electromagnetic wave in the form of different electric fields. So we can move to the Faraday's law, that is d by dt electric field, Maxwell modification of dv by dt divided by de by dt. So Maxwell modification of Ampere's law, integral B dot dl equal to mu naught epsilon naught d pi by dt. So this is a similar equation of Maxwell modification Ampere's law. These two equations can be solved simultaneously. So the equation becomes E of x comma t, which is equal to ep sine kx minus jz j omega t, kx minus j omega t z cap. So v equal to v of x comma t, which is equal to bp sine k minus x omega t equal into j cap. This is the Maxwell modification of Ampere's law. Now we shall move to the another topic, that is called the b dot dl equal to mu. This is the first equation. Yeah. So this is a electromagnetic wave in the form of two equations. We have seen in the previous example. Okay. So this is the electromagnetic equation. So we have seen the Maxwell modification of Ampere's law. So similar equation, the integral b dot dl equal to mu naught by epsilon naught d pi by dt. This is the first equation. The Maxwell should be a circular. So the lines of force, the magnetic lines of force should be a circular. So the equation, the line should be a perpendicular to the mu naught by epsilon naught. So similar electrostatic potential at the different line should be a d by dt. This is the equation of Gauss law of electromagnetism. So we can calculate the special case of the plane wave. E vector equal to Ey x comma t j cap, b dash equal to bz e x comma t k cap. So this is this equation become satisfying the wave equation. Dou square pi by dou x square equal to 1 by v square dou square pi by dou t square. The Maxwell equation, we have to assume the pi equal to a sine omega t plus pi. So plane wave solution, we have to think the plane wave solution should be a parallel at the different position. The Bz and Ey is the electric field and magnetic field. Is crossing through the planar solution. So the equation should be E equal to E of x comma t equal to EP sine kx minus omega t into j cap. So similarly in the magnetic field, B x comma t, which is equal to Bp sine kx minus omega t z cap. So this is the plane wave solution of the different static and dynamic movement. So in the form of static dynamic move, the static wave, f of x, the plane should be a x axis should be a x planar at x we have to mention, and y planar we have to mention the f of x. So this is a length, that is a wave planar. So the static wave f of x equal to fp sin k of x plus pi, k equal to 2 pi lambda. So k is a wave number, so lambda is the wavelength. So similarly in the moving wave, f of xt equal to f is chi kx minus omega t. So the velocity should be a changes at the angular frequency, and omega v equal to omega by k. This is a similar equation in the static and the moving wave. So similarly in a moving wave, what happens when x equal to 0? So what happens when x equal to 0? The equation f of x comma t, which is equal to f is sine kx minus omega t. So this area becomes 0. So what is the equation? This is f of 0 comma t, which is equal to f is sine minus omega t. For x equal to 0 and t equal to 0, f 0 comma 0, which is equal to f is sine 0. So for x equal to 0 and t equal to t, so this is the equation, that is f of 0 comma t equal to f is sine 0 comma 0 minus omega t, which is equal to f sine minus omega t. This is equivalent to k of x, which is equal to minus omega t, which is equal to omega, which is kx equal to minus omega t, x equal to minus omega by k into t. At x equal to 0 at this time, t is the same as f of t equal to minus omega by t at t is equal to constant. The wave moves to the right with the speed omega by t. This is the equation. So moving wave at x is equal to 0. This is the equation we have to solve in the different problem in the plane wave solution. This is the plane electromagnetic wave at angle should be a 90. So see that waves are in the phase at field oriented at 90 degree. If the plane wave solution should be a 90 degree, what is the wave c equal to omega by k, what is equal to f lambda. So c equal to 1 by root of epsilon naught by mu naught, which is equal to 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second at all times equal to cv. So thank you. Hope you have to understood this section of electromagnetic waves and electromagnetism and electrostatic potential in the form of Gauss law, Faraday, Ampere's, and different Maxwell equations. Hope you can enjoy the section. So by the Almighty, I have to finish one small topic from the electromagnetic theory.